Welcome to the Society Sucks podcast.
And today we're going to be asking the question, are you healthy? So how do we determine that, Mario?
How do we determine that? First off, we got to find out what is health. What is good health, right?
That's true. Oh, and by the way, y'all comment down below if you believe that you are healthy right now.
Healthy
you consider
right
yourself
now.
a healthy
Yeah.
person. Go ahead
Before this starts, before you find out the information, if you could consider yourself healthy before and after this.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, I think we do have to mention, we recorded this earlier.
Oh, yeah.
We recorded this earlier, and just to find out that we weren't actually recording at all.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, and, this kind of ties into basically what we had talked about.
Yeah.
And we're trying to maintain a positive outlook.
Yeah, because basically, like, after we had read the article and everything, we had already recorded, like, the full, 30 minutes of it?
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes.
We stand up, find out that we hadn't recorded anything.
And,
And so it's just like, wow, well, I guess that's just us practicing what we're preaching. Yeah.
Exactly. So.
But yeah, I mean, it got us for a second. We were like, no, you know what? Positive outlook on life. Stress management.
Yeah, exactly. Emphasize the positive.
Emphasizing the positive in life, which y'all are about to hear about when we get into it. Because there's a lot that goes into health. It's not what you might think.
Exactly, and that's that leads me into this actually.
Mm-hmm.
In 1948, the World Health Organization defined health with a phrase that modern authorities still apply. Health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or
what's the word? Infirmity.
There you go. Which is
physical and mental weakness.
Mental weakness.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a good baseline to identify what is health, according to World Health Organization.
Nice.
And then that's where we were kind of leading into, what types of health. And this is where, it kind of strays off into a lot of things that people don't know. Because typically they just see physique and assume healthy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where we were kind of, trying to see both sides of the coin.
Yeah, they just look at, your body shape or what you look like on the outside. And then they just make an assumption that the way you look is going to be healthy.
And then
but
you're
there's
healthy.
Much more than that.
Exactly. So now we're going into the types. So obviously the two main ones that are frequently discussed are mental and physical health. And other types are spiritual, emotional, and financial health. And financial health was something that we were actually surprised about.
Yeah.
But I guess it does kind of make sense because it was saying medical experts have linked these to be lower stress levels and improved mental and physical health well-being, which is spiritual, emotional, and the financial health. And then it was saying with people with better financial health, for example, may worry less about finances and have the means to buy fresher foods more regularly, which is, I guess...
Makes sense.
I guess it makes sense, but it's just kind of odd.
Yeah, it's an odd thing to consider because that's more of like I guess like a side effect
of it, right?
Yeah, it's more of a side effect because it's like, I don't know. I forgot what you mentioned earlier, but
Yeah,
it was just odd.
But I guess that leads into the types, and we were going to dive deep into like the physical, the mental,
yeah, that's right.
What it says according to Medical News Daily. And we're going to leave this down below in the description if you want to go ahead and read this article for yourself.
Yeah.
So for physical health, these are like baseline points.
And y'all are noticing we're like peeling out the layers of this onion right here because it starts with, are you healthy? Okay, well, these are the 4 types of healthy. Now, how is each type defined? And we're just going to keep diving deeper.
Yeah, so it's going to suggest basically what to do or what it's considered and things like that. So basically, first bullet point for physical health. Physical health is saying minimize hazards in the workplace, which was, I remember we were kind of joking around about this, like, I guess you want to minimize hazards in everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
And the next one was using, Harvey was good with this word.
Let's see, using contraception when having sex.
Yeah.
That's another obvious one to, I guess, prevent the spread of an STD.
I guess that would make sense if you're out with just a bunch of random people, having your little thing going. And practicing effective hygiene. Obviously, I think that's just obvious with what's going on right now, what we're going through.
Yeah, you want to like wash your hands, you want to like brush your teeth.
Just be cleanly, honestly.
Yeah, you don't want to not.
And it was basically saying avoid the use of tobacco, alcohol, and illegal drugs. I mean, I guess that's a given. I would agree, honestly.
Why illegal drugs?
Illegal, yeah.
Why not drugs in general?
That's true, actually.
I guess because there are like good prescription drugs.
There
like,
is
even those have side effects that'll mess you up.
That is pretty mind blowing, actually.
Anyway,
but I guess you kind of know going into it.
That's true. I guess you do. The last one is taking. I can.
Oh wait, this one was like the controversial.
This was a controversial bullet point because people obviously have their different views on it. But it's taking the recommended vaccines for a specific condition or country when traveling. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Let us know. If we have two people on the opposite ends of this recommended, if this is recommended for health, if we have two people on the opposite ends, feel free to reach out to us. We'll get you on the podcast, have a little discussion.
Yeah, because there's anti and pro, and a lot of people, we were talking about, we've done it as children, but some parents don't want their children to get them.
Yeah.
So, that's a whole thing that we're not like too...
We're not very educated in it, is what we're trying to say.
So that's why we want to see both sides. That'd be something interesting.
That would be interesting, actually.
And that's basically for the mental health, and it's saying good physical health can work to tame with mental health to improve a person's overall quality of life. I mean, I guess that does make sense, because I remember I was saying before that if you can go on a run outside in the sun, I would 100% would say that's just going to make you feel good mentally as well. Just release those endorphins, make you feel good.
Taking your cat or dog for a walk.
That too.
Which, by the way, we have a little kitty running around here, so
yeah, that's okay, guys.
Don't mind the extra noise. What else do we have here? So now we're in the mental health section of it?
Now we're in the mental health section. So basically, mental health, according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, mental health refers to a person's emotional, social, psychological well-being. Mental health is as important as physical health as part of a full and active lifestyle.
I love that they say that, because it's like they're equals, to be honest. You can't have one that's or the other that you're only working on, You gotta have both.
Exactly. And the bullet points on these were kind of funny, and these were like kind of goofy, the ones that we were talking about before. So first bullet point is just enjoy life, guys.
That's their tip for mental health. It just says enjoy life.
That's all you gotta do. Enjoy life.
Like how they don't even emphasize how or what you gotta do. It just says enjoy life.
Just enjoy life.
I don't know. If we had to make our own sub bullet point under that, what would you say are better ways to enjoy life?
Enjoy life, dang. I would think maybe going out with a couple of friends. And if you don't have friends to go out with, maybe social media can connect you with a couple of friends.
No, honestly, yeah, that's true.
Or just going outside and going for like I said, I feel like nature really does heal.
Nature, finding community, a sense of like connection, camaraderie with others, all that stuff can make you enjoy life a little bit more. Obviously, there's the artificial shit like drugs and alcohol and all that stuff, but that's fake enjoying life. People will tell you that that's you enjoying life.
And you reminded me, actually, a point that we were bringing up was that you can't outrun it. You can't. You can't outsmoke it. You can't outdrink it. You can't outrun these things.
Yeah.
You if you really want to like try to heal or try to become better, talk to someone about it, or even sit with your thoughts and think about it and try to feel these emotions. Ask for help. Talk to your people, and someone that you feel close to, that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can't drown it out like that. Like I told Mario, it's kind of like you're sweeping it under the rug. That's not eliminating the mess that's there. It's gonna just keep on piling it up.
Eventually, it will pile up.
Exactly.
And it will be released. Okay, next bullet point is bounce back after difficult experiences and adapt to adversity.
Yeah, you just gotta bounce back, guys.
Bounce back. That's all. It's so simple.
But the adapting to adversity, though, you could interpret that in a positive way, because it's like adversity happens to all of us. We have something that enters our life at a certain time. Some people choose to make it the reason for their downfall and victimize themselves. Other people choose to let it make them stronger. It becomes their story. It's something that they can now have an experience and share with others and help in turn reach to other people in that same spot. So adapting to adversity allows you to become stronger, not just stronger mentally, not just letting it victimize you and so that's why I'm saying adapt to adversity.
Wow, you know what? Actually, now I'm reading this. It says good health is not only categorized by the absence of depression, anxiety, or any other disorder. It depends on a person's ability to and then the bullet points.
Oh, I see.
Well, that actually makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Well, that's really good, guys. But obviously, these are some bullet points for good mental health. So I guess this is what you should try to be aiming for baseline.
Okay, no, that does make sense.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'm gonna say that again for
enjoy
people.
life then.
Good mental health is not only categorized by the absence of depression, anxiety, or another disorder. It depends on a person's ability to enjoy life, bounce back after difficult experiences, and adapt to adversity. Balance different elements of life, such as family and finances.
That's a good one.
Feel safe and secure, and achieve their full potential.
Wow, and that's what we were saying before. Achieve your full potential. So easy.
Yeah.
But now I guess it's more. Yeah. You can kind of understand it a little bit more.
Yeah, that does make more sense. Good thing we re-recorded
it. Yeah, no, actually. I mean, I guess we don't know.
Yeah.
And at least we're not reading the full thing.
Yeah, we're just looking at
guys.
The
link in the description. Go check it out for yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and basically it was saying, I guess, we kind of bounced through this, so I guess we can talk about the balance and elements of life.
Such as family and finances.
Yeah, because I remember we were talking about, like, a workaholic that's very focused on work and, kind of lacks spending time with the family. Yeah. That's huge, I would say. Like,
that is a huge one, because there's no balance in that. That's why it says to balance it. You don't choose one over the other. You don't focus on one more than the other. You kind of have to juggle these things around. So,
for sure, because even for the family side of things, you think it would be good staying with your family all the time, but I guess if you're not financially secure,
that's true. That's going to add to your stress later on in life. So.
It would add to everything. It would make it even worse for your family.
Exactly.
Next bullet point: feel safe and secure. I feel like that makes a lot of sense.
Feeling safe and secure, in like your area, your environment.
I wonder if that's your environment or within yourself. Mm-hmm. Now that I think about it. Like, do you feel safe and secure with a person?
I see. I guess with both. I mean, both are for mental health.
It could be for both.
Either way, yeah.
Because some people, I guess, have bad neighborhoods. That does have an effect on your health and mental health. That makes sense.
Or even being, like, insecure, feeling safe and... Or feeling unsafe and insecure.
You can be insecure. That has a huge mental health.
That's true.
So, next one is achieve their full potential.
Now that one's also like a broad one, like we've said.
It is very broad.
How do people go about their way to achieve their full potential?
Trying to achieve their full potential.
Yeah, because they're not just like there's not just like a cap right here. You gotta fill out that meter. You know what I mean?
I think it's like maybe working towards it and realizing that you have that ability and that you can.
That you can achieve more.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the same person you are right now and just assume that that's all there is to it. There's always something to learn. There's always something to improve a little bit on, something to be better at. And I feel like as long as you're doing that, you're getting better day by day.
For sure. And see, now, I guess we're going to lead into the factors for good health. And I remember you were reading the genetic factors. So I guess there's genetic factors and environmental factors.
Yes, and the one with genetic factors says a person is born with a variety of genes. In some people, an unusual genetic pattern or change can lead to a less than optimum level of health. People may inherit genes from their parents that increase their risk for certain health conditions. So even if you're dealt a bad hand upon birth because of your genetics, you still have a choice to lessen these effects or at least fight back against these quote-unquote disorders.
Exactly. And I guess it really is like prevention, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's saying environmental factors play a role in health. Sometimes the environment alone has a huge impact for health. Other times an environmental trigger can cause an illness in a person who has an increased genetic risk of a particular disease.
That too.
I mean, that makes sense. I guess if you're around certain things that kind of spike an emotion within you negatively, like stress, maybe you see a lot of fighting or, just crime, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Next. Okay, bullet points where a person lives. I guess that has to do with what we were saying.
Yeah.
The state of the surrounding environment.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the same thing, is it not?
Yeah.
Genetics, once again. I mean,
no. Where a person lives and then the state of that environment, like how it is.
How it is there.
Okay, that makes sense.
See that way. Okay. Genetics, we were saying that before. Their income, their education, and their employment status. That was where we were kind of like a little iffy, but I guess it kind of does make sense.
Yeah. And then what else we got here? Social and economic environment, the physical environment, a person's characteristics and behavior. So these right here are saying that the social and economic environment may include the financial status of a family or community, as well as the social culture and quality of relationships. And then we have the physical environment. This includes which germs exist in an area, as well as pollution levels. Okay, that makes sense.
That's actually very true, because there's a state in Michigan, right? I think it's Michigan, where they have very low quality water.
Is it Michigan? Oh,
I think it's Michigan. There's a certain state where they're like very low quality water and like brown keeps coming out of their water, and they can't, have proper drinking water.
It just affects all.
And that's gonna affect everything, your physical, everything.
And then a person's characteristics and behavior, a person's genetic makeup and lifestyle choices can affect their overall health. Oh yeah, and I think we're going on to about how you have certain, what's the peak age again of when you're being molded as a human that has an effect on your mental health?
Oh yeah, it's 0 to 8. So basically, this was from Oprah actually, where she wrote a book with a psychologist, I think, and they did a study from 0 to 8 is the age where you're most malleable. So if you're growing up and mom and dad are consistently fighting, screaming, you might not be able to comprehend and speak what's going on, but you definitely feel the emotion. You see their faces, and you can feel the stress levels and your cortisol levels shooting up through the roof because you're consistently stressed, and you're kind of like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah, and eventually you get enough of that, it becomes ingrained into who you are.
Exactly. And then that's, how you slowly start to become that person. And I remember we were talking about realizing that, yes, there's people that, you obviously have no choice.
Yeah.
You're growing up that way. But now that you become conscious, you're grown, you have this ability to reprogram yourself.
Oh, that's what it is.
And try to what?
Try to, overcome that. Like, try and heal from that. Because, we said, you don't have a choice in the matter. When you're 0 to 8 years old, you're being, watched by others, you're being taught by others, so your beliefs aren't even yours at that point. And it isn't until we question them and get rid of the things that we know aren't doing us good. And it's not until we do that we keep that same trauma from childhood, or keep those same things that aren't even ours. Like, we're just a collection of these beliefs from our past, or the things that we've seen. We embody that as we're older, and then you start to question, why am I so... why do I have anger issues? And, you probably viewed it in your parents as a kid. Why do I have, why am I so impatient with people? Why,
exactly.
I maybe have a cursing problem. Maybe I have a drinking problem. These are maybe things that have been taught and ingrained. So all this can affect your mental and physical health if they're just things that you've been surrounded with when you were younger.
And I think sometimes it's like underlining trauma that we might not think about. And I remember going and thinking about being in a relationship has something to do with that. I mean, obviously seeing your relationship of your parents, or it has an effect with how you're able to love someone and treat someone. True. And another thing that Oprah was saying in that specific thing is we have a tendency to ask why a person's acting a certain way instead of asking what made them act that way.
Oh yeah.
And that goes back to how they were raised and why things they were experienced as a child that made them feel that way. Now you see why they're acting out.
Exactly. So if you want to go to the true root of a problem, or certain I guess personality or character flaws that you see within someone else, think outside of that and see that maybe there was something that really affected them when they were younger, something that really affected yourself when you were younger that made you be the way you are today. Sometimes there's things that come out just impulses of that, and it's that ingrained idea or belief that this is how you should act or react to a certain situation.
You just reminded me of something else. Yeah, that's very true, because people have a tendency to be like, oh, this is just me, this is just how I am. But that's where we were leading on to talking about, well, now if you become conscious and you realize that the person you are is causing harm or negative effects towards others, then I think you have a responsibility to realize that you need to make a change.
Exactly. And seeing that's even in the most sometimes seemingly innocent things, they reflect themselves in other people, in your connections with others. That's when you can truly view who you are. Or no, in relationships is when you can truly view who you are, because it's you're in a situation that forces you to be patient with another person, to form that bond, to form that connection. That's something that you've only had in another form, which is towards your family members.
Exactly.
So when you get out of the family and put yourself in a relationship where you're forced to have those same feelings towards this person, that can sometimes rise to the top. Exactly. Now this is where the true test is. How are you going to treat this other person? Are you going to continue that cycle of hatred and toxicity, or are you going to break it? So you're in a situation that forces that out. And even outside the relationship context, your connection with people, the way you treat other people. And where I was going with the seemingly innocent things, it's something as simple as maybe you ignoring people, or even dismissing people slightly. that can come from you being ignored as a kid. You know, it's you was just normal. Oh, you know, I get ignored all the time. I do all this all the time. You take that into the real world, and you know, maybe you're not paying attention to someone. Maybe you just zone out when someone's talking to you. Maybe you know, you're quick to cut people off, and like these are seemingly small things, but when you start to bring attention to it, you go, oh, dang, you know, I do cut off people, or maybe, dang, you know, I do this a lot. I do just ignore. I zone out. I don't listen to people. Like, these are things that, you know, people probably see in you that you don't see in yourself. So, but that only way you can realize these things and make those little tweaks is by bringing attention to it. Is by realizing, where did this come from? When did this start? Why am I being the way I am?
Yeah.
And it probably stems from something. And it's not inherently, you know, these toxic traits. But my point is that there's always these little tweaks that you can make to make yourself more. Because what we were saying last time, something about you wanna, if you had a choice, you want to be the person that brings light into a room. You want to be the person that, and it's by making these small tweaks that you can become that person. You know, so if you've ever met a person that comes in, they light up the room, they make everyone laugh, they make everyone smile.
Wouldn't you want to be like that beaming of light that comes in to a room? Like, everyone wants that person around.
They want that energy around them. It just sparks something up within you. Feel comfortable with that person. You're trusting of that person, and you can be that person too. It's not just because, oh, that's just the way they are, you know, and I can't be that way because I'm just the way I am. Like, I feel like it is our duty to be the best person we can be for others, because all we have are others. You know, that's our main goal here, is to be of service to other people. And so, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all about making these little tweaks that can help you become the best version of yourself by bringing attention to these, you know, seemingly small flaws that maybe, well, you might think is a small flaw, but are causing, you know, ripples in other people's lives. You know, constantly, you know, maybe not letting other people be heard, you know, not giving people time to speak, being impatient with others, letting the anger issues come out.
The emotions take over you. No, that makes so much sense. I think that's something to think about. And like, that's why, like, I think this topic is very important, because I think us as a society, we see, you know, physiques or certain things, and we think this is it. This is it. I'm healthy once I achieve that.
The epitome of health. Yeah.
But
oh man,
no. You know, like, if you're consistently sad, that just doesn't even make any sense.
Exactly. There's this meme where it's like, all you gotta be on the internet nowadays is just like ripped and built, and you can just throw out bro science. You can just throw out like all this fake stuff that, you know, they're just making money off of you. They're just throwing out stuff that's gonna, you know, make you want to buy their protein powders and supplements and stuff like that. You look at the fitness industry; these people are not even certified. All they need is a good body, and you think they're the epitome of health.
That's true.
No, you gotta look past that. There's so much more to it.
I saw a post about that too, actually. Liebeck, remember Liebeck?
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of Liebeck, he was one of our guests.
Yes.
He's actually he studied, I think, he studied health science.
Yeah.
And he was basically talking about that, to not just believe anyone because they're ripped and buff. And he was basically saying that, and you know, that does make so much sense, because I mean, they see you as profit and they're trying to, but obviously he was basically emphasizing, just look where they're getting their information. Like, are they an actual genuine person? And that's just a whole other topic.
That is a whole other topic, but that's what we're trying to say is look past just the physical.
Yeah, exactly. And now, leading on to preserving health. So this is basically prevention, guys, and this is steps that can help people maintain wellness. So we were talking about baseline things that we think could be considered healthy, right?
Yeah.
So this is the minimal, guys. We're just giving y'all bullet points from this article. So the first one is eating a balanced, nutritious diet from as many natural sources as possible. And come on,
the more natural, the better.
Exactly. Whole foods, guys. Come on,
whole foods.
Eat whole foods. Stop eating processed foods consistently. Like, we were talking about, like, your breakfast. Like, if you're eating Coke and Takis in the morning, like, come on, man.
Oh, come on.
Like,
your body deserves better than that.
Yeah, honestly. And we were talking about how it's a temple. Like, treat it well.
And we're not even, like, out here shaming, you know, or body shaming people and stuff like that.
Not.
Like, these are stuff that is true. Like, this is your body. This is the only place you have to live in for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
You take the time to respect it, make yourself something nutritious.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we were talking about moderation too when it comes to that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's obviously you should balance it out 100% with nutritious whole foods always.
Yes.
Try to eliminate. I feel like you can see this everywhere. Just stop eating processed foods, or try to minimize it at least.
Exactly.
Next bullet point is engaging in at least 150 minutes of moderate to high intensity exercise every week, according to American Heart Association.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what the minute. Yeah, that's the minimum right there. So
that's the minimum, guys. Like, think about this. I think Harvey was saying it was like 20 minutes, 7 days a week.
20 minutes, 7 days a day.
Just go take a walk for 20 minutes.
20 minutes once a day, or engage in like rigorous activity 30 minutes at 5 days a week.
And I'm pretty sure like going around cleaning, doing house chores, you're walking around,
you're doing something better than just sitting on your all day.
Exactly, and I think that's so important.
Come on now, it's possible. Walk your dog, walk your cat.
Yeah.
Go out with go talk to your neighbors, go on a little jog together or something. I don't know.
Honestly, like just that moving does so much.
Get into jiu-jitsu, find a jiu-jitsu gym near you.
Yeah, for real, honestly. Next one is screening for diseases that may prevent a risk. And I think we were talking about this before, how, I kind of feel like I need to be doing this a little bit more.
Because if you can catch something before it starts, like for example, a tumor or something, God forbid, something that starts, you get it at its roots, or go for screening and stuff like that, get it before it becomes a problem. If you start feeling certain, issues or pain somewhere and it's not going away, people, that's usually how it starts, because you ignore the early signs and then it starts to develop further and further, and it's like, dang, I could have done something about this a while ago.
100%. I think that goes back to, what you put in. You're exercising.
Exactly.
That's so much prevention already. But I guess if you want to get the ultimate prevention, go get yourself checked. I mean, I don't think anything's wrong with that. I think people should, honestly.
Get some blood work done. Go get some checkups, stuff like that. So
the next one is learning how to manage stress levels. And I remember before this, Harvey was recommending how he does it for himself, and he'll let y'all know now.
Hold on, how did
you were talking about how you were writing them down?
Yes, there we go. The best way, yes, because there's obviously several ways. We all have our own individual ways.
Yeah, exactly.
But for me, is actually grabbing those scrambled up, stressful thoughts and all this mess in your head, put it down on paper so you can actually see it, and look at the small problems, look at the big problems, and then just kind of categorize them and see which ones can I solve. Which ones can I not solve? First ask yourself, can I do something about this? And if you can, work towards solving it. Obviously it's not going to be an instant fix. But just the fact of unscrambling these thoughts from your mind to the paper is managing that stress. It might not eliminate it, but it'll for sure help it be more manageable, because now you're actually looking and seeing what it is stressing you out, rather than just the feeling of being stressed and not even knowing what's causing it.
And one thing to add on that, we were speaking about realizing what you can control and what you can't.
Yeah.
So, you write all this down. Think about, okay, I can control this. Oh, I can't control that. So, let yourself realize that it's okay because it's out of your hands. And you can't do anything about it.
That's true.
And if it comes to that point, just try to figure out how to be okay with it, because there's literally nothing you can do about it.
If there's truly nothing you can do about it, you have to learn to be okay with it.
And I guess that's pretty much it. Next one, though, is engaging in activities that provide purpose. I remember we were kind of asking each other, like, what are some activities that we would say provide purpose? One example I was using was jiu-jitsu, making this podcast, because we're providing education only for you guys, but we're learning in the process.
We're learning as well, and that's the most exciting part about this. It gives us a sense of purpose, that we're building towards becoming a better person overall.
You're doing something that's giving you purpose right now, which is listening to this. And you know what? You might as well just go ahead and like and comment, subscribe as well while you're there, guys.
You might as well, since we're doing you such a huge favor. No, for real though, actually.
No, actually like, comment down below.
Now we have ratings as well. Rate us on Spotify. Give us a 5-star little rating.
That's a little rating, guys. While you're there, Spotify actually did add a rating system.
Apple Podcast has been having it, so leave us one there if you're listening on that.
Exactly, guys, and that's truly appreciated. Like, we're joking around right now, but it actually is very much appreciated. Okay, next one is maintaining a positive outlook on life.
How do you do that, Mario, in your day-to-day living?
How do I do that? Oh, okay. How I do this is by expressing gratitude. And I really do think by expressing gratitude, that just puts your magnifying glass that we all have towards the good. Because you can have the magnifying glass point towards all the negative tiny things, and then we kind of let the positive just go over our heads.
Yeah.
But like this is saying, it's maintaining a positive outlook. Maintaining it. Not it always being positive. Because that would be like toxic positivity. You have to realize things get bad, and that's okay. Yeah. But it's how you deal with them, and then realize I can try to look at what's good out of this situation.
Yeah. Exactly. I love that. I mean, that was it right there.
That's pretty much it. Next one, last one. You go, Harvey.
Defining a value system and putting it into action.
Oh, okay.
And we had a little discussion about this one.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out value system how. Value system in terms of what. But what was it that we agreed on a value system?
I think we're talking about just causing as least harm as possible.
Oh, yeah, because value systems can go into, like, you know, religion. It can get into, you know, different types of morals everything. And stuff like that. But if we had to summarize, if we could summarize it into, you know, one phrase that can benefit us all, is causing the least amount of harm as possible. You know, if you can abide by a system that does that in your day-to-day living, you know.
That seems like
being
you
nice.
hit the jackpot,
I think that's it right there, because your goal should be to be a better person and treat others with respect, be kind, you know, don't just see, you know, everyday things as mundane, you know, you have to, like, make that effort to be a better person. You know, we were using the example of the cashier.
Yeah.
You know, you just say this and, like, you know, they'll ring you up, they'll do all this stuff, and you just walk right on out without saying a word to them sometimes. Or you'll just engage in meaningless small talk. You know, take the time to throw out a compliment. Take the time to be kind. Say thank you. Open the door for people.
Express generosity.
Use some manners with people. You know, we're all fellow humans, but we just see everyone as just automated. You know, they're working a job. They're doing their thing. They're serving you in one way when you go shop, when you go do something, and you just treat them like whatever. So stuff like that. You know, if you abide by that value system every day and actually bring thought into it, be conscious about it.
Positive reaps.
So much positivity can reap from that.
And, you know, I just realized actually, a value system can be just providing service. And, like, if I live my life just by providing service, if I see, like, okay, I'm providing service to someone, like, that could be like, okay, I'm doing good for someone, I'm trying to help them, you know, in whatever need they need me for. Like, that could be something.
Exactly.
And, like, there's just so many ways you can do that, and obviously this applies to each individual person. And that leads me to the final thing. The definition of peak health is highly individual, guys, so please realize this. We're all millions, billions of people on this planet. Obviously, health can be seen in different ways.
What works for you will not work for another person.
Exactly, and as are the steps a person may take to get there. So, you know how you do it, basically. Every person has a different health goals and a variety of ways to achieve them. Basically ties in what we were saying. It may not be possible to avoid disease altogether. However, a person should do as much as they can to develop a resilience and prepare the body and mind to deal with illnesses as they arise.
Yes, and that's the biggest part, is being able to prevent that. Taking the action today, at this very moment, to bring bring that consciousness into what you eat. You know, what you're doing, the activity you're doing, the way you're treating other people. You know, start being conscious about that. Don't just let every single day go by just automatically, you know. Do the same old things, eat the same way you've been eating, doing the least amount of effort possible. You know, you want to bring attention to these things because it benefits you. It benefits your health. And we all want to be healthy overall.
Yeah, and if you really want to, like, take it out of just you, I guess you can think about it as, like, I want to be healthy to take care of my family. I want to be healthy to be there for my family. You know, like, things like that. I want to be able to be active if I were to ever have children or anything, you know. You can think about it that way. Take it out of just yourself and make it a bigger why if you need a deeper motivation.
Exactly.
And I think that pretty much ties it up.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for listening. Let us know what you think about our list. Go to YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, you know, leave a comment. Let us know what you think, what you agree or disagree with.
Exactly.
So now that you've listened all the way through, watched all the way through, do you still think you are healthy?
Yes.
If so, what steps are you going to start taking to become a healthier person?
Oh, that's
because
good.
We should all strive.
And please let us know down below in the comments. I know someone could listen to that and be like, you know what, I'm going to take that, I'm going to apply that to my life. Exactly. So, would you consider yourself healthy, Hardy?
Would I consider myself healthy? I consider myself healthier.
Ah, okay.
So
okay.
I'm
You're trying.
Trying, exactly.
See, and that's the thing, guys. You know, I guess you can try to reach optimal health, but enjoy the process as you're doing it. You know, you're realizing this is for you. You're taking care of yourself. You're benefiting yourself. Like, just try to enjoy the process, not make it so grueling and a tough task.
That's true.
Fuck, I have to do this. Oh, I have to make healthy food. Oh, I have to cook. Oh, I have to go to the gym.
Don't make it a chore.
No, like, I get to. I'm thankful that I can.
Exactly. The fact that you have the choice to be healthier.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people don't have that choice around the world. You know, if you're one of the blessed people
that are listening to this on your iPhone,
there you go.
Android, touchscreen, like come on, guys.
Come on, yeah, we're blessed. We really are
exactly,
blessed.
guys. So
and remember, keep in mind too, it even said here in this article that healthy isn't just, you know, having a healthy mind isn't just the absence of depression. Like if you have issues going on in your life, that doesn't suddenly omit you from becoming a healthier person. You know, if you're going through depression or anxiety, I don't think you're suddenly done for. Fuck, you know, I can't get over it.
Yeah,
it's about managing these emotions as they arise. You know, these are little waves in our life that just happen, and we gotta exist somewhere in between that.
For sure.
Maintain a level head. Make those little tweaks to our character that make us be a better person for others, for our families, and just
be positive, man. Like honestly, and I guess that's what it is, guys. Like we said, go ahead, like, comment, leave us a rating. We really do genuinely appreciate it.
We do.
And if you learned something,
oh yeah,
tell us.
Yeah, tell us what you learned. Send us a DM as well for any future ideas or topics. We will gladly consider them and discuss them. But before I end, I want to ask Mario now, since he asked me, do you consider yourself healthy?
I mean, I would consider myself, like you said, I think I'm trying. We're getting there. You know, obviously there's things that everyone has that they can try and fix.
I don't think it's just one level and like, damn,
that's it. I'm done. I've achieved health.
I've achieved health.
The thing is with health, like we were saying, it's a thing you have to upkeep. It's maintenance. It's like, you know, your car.
That's true. It's not just gonna, you know, get to an optimal position.
You have to keep maintaining it. Some days you're gonna be not the best. Some days you're gonna be better. You know, it's just like about that balance.
Yeah.
That's what it is, guys.
I like that.
So that's what it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.